Here's what it takes to become invisible in your own family. 18 years of saying yes so quickly that nobody remembers you were ever asked. Natalie found that out the night her mother-in-law handed her a schedule instead of a conversation. 5 days a week, written in tidy block letters, groceries, laundry, appointments, meals, and errands. As if her actual paying job was a hobby that could simply be cancelled. She did not argue. She reached into a kitchen drawer, pulled out a cheap plastic pen, and slid it across the table to her husband. "Where do I sign?" she asked. She had no idea yet how far that small object was about to travel, or what it would cost everyone at that table to get her back. Lorraine had always run her household the way other people ran small companies, with quiet authority and an assumption that everyone understood their role. For 18 years, Natalie had fit into that structure without ever officially agreeing to it. She remembered things before Lorraine asked. She solved problems before anyone admitted one existed. Walter used to joke that Natalie kept the family running better than the family did. And everyone laughed, including Natalie, because at the time it felt like a compliment. Walter had died 7 weeks earlier after a long, quiet decline. He was the kind of man who could sit through a family argument, say 6 words at the end, and be the smartest person in the room. Natalie missed him. She knew Lorraine did too. Grief was real in that house. But grief did not explain the legal pad sitting beside her dinner plate. Natalie tapped it once. "This is 5 days a week," she said. Lorraine sighed, the sigh she used when a waitress forgot her lemon wedge, as though Natalie were making things difficult. "Your father-in-law is gone," she said. "I am alone now. I cannot do everything myself." Natalie looked around the table. Dean kept his eyes on his plate. Russell took a long drink of his iced tea. Bethany suddenly became very interested in the green beans. That was the moment Natalie understood this had not been invented 5 minutes earlier. It had been discussed. Maybe not by everyone. But Dean had known. She turned to Dean first. "Help," she repeated. He shifted in his seat. "She's alone now," he said. "Somebody has to step up. Not we need to figure something out. Not what do you think. Somebody." And everyone at the table already understood who that somebody was supposed to be. She asked Russell, 56 and healthy, living 40 minutes away. "On the road half the week," he said. She asked Bethany, who shrugged before the question even finished. "Got the kids," Bethany said. 14 and 17. One of them drove. She looked at Dean. "You know my schedule," he said. She laughed once, not because anything was funny. "I have a schedule too," she said. Lorraine leaned back in her chair. "Yes, Natalie," she said. "We know you work." The way she said it made it sound like a hobby. Something practiced twice a month at a farmer's market table. "I do not just work," Natalie said. "I run procurement for a hospital network." "I know what you do," Lorraine said. "Do you?" Natalie asked. "Do you, Dean?" He frowned. "Come on," he said. "No, really," she said. "Because everybody at this table just explained why their time matters. And apparently mine is sitting here waiting to be reassigned." Lorraine's mouth tightened. "You are taking this personally," she said. Natalie stared at her. "You put my name on a schedule," she said. Across the table, Joanne, Russell's wife, lowered her eyes, but Natalie caught the corner of her mouth twitch. Lorraine noticed too. "This is not funny," she said. "I agree," Natalie said, and picked up the legal pad. "You want me to quit a job that pays $120,000 a year so I can shop, clean, drive you to appointments, cook, do laundry, run errands, and handle your bills," she said. "Money is not everything," Lorraine said. "I know," Natalie said. "That is why this is not about money. It is about you deciding I should give up my life without asking me." Nobody at that table said a word in her defense. That silence turned out to be its own kind of answer. Dean did not speak again until they were halfway home. Then he said she had embarrassed his mother. "She embarrassed herself," Natalie said. He gripped the wheel tighter. "She is scared," he said. "She has never lived alone." "I understand that," Natalie said. "Do you?" he asked. "Yes, Dean," she said. "I helped take care of your father for almost a year." He exhaled hard through his nose. "Everything turns into a scorecard with you," he said. It turns into a scorecard, she said. When everyone remembers what I am supposed to give and forgets what I have already given. They drove another mile in silence. Then he said something that changed the argument. Before Dad died, I promised him Mom would never have to depend on strangers. You made a promise with my time, she said. That is not fair, he said. Did you ask me, she asked. No, then it is accurate. By the time they got home, they were both angry. Dean followed her into the kitchen. We could make it work financially, he said. How then, she asked. Let us adjust. She counted on her fingers. The 401k, the travel budget, the emergency savings, the extra mortgage payments. His jaw tightened. You always do this, turn everything into numbers. You are asking me to quit a 6-figure job, she said. The numbers wandered in on their own. This is my mother, he said. Yes, she said. And she needs us, he said. Yes, she said. Then why is this so hard, he asked. After 18 years, he should have known. Then he said it. If you cannot do this for my family. He said, maybe we should not be married. The room went very still. Do it or divorce me. Natalie opened the junk drawer beside the refrigerator. Rubber bands, batteries, takeout menus, 2 screwdrivers nobody remembered buying, and pens. She took one, cheap black plastic, probably from a dentist's office, and walked it back to the table. Where do I sign? She asked. The anger drained out of Dean's face at once. Come on, Natalie, he said. You meant it, she said, when you thought I would be scared. She picked up her purse. I am sleeping in the guest room. She barely slept that night, not because she was planning some glorious new life. She was 48, 18 years into a marriage she had believed was solid. Lying awake in a room where they normally stored Christmas wrapping paper. By 7:40 the next morning she was sitting in her car outside her office, coffee cooling in the cup holder, searching for a divorce attorney in Columbus. Dana Whitaker called her back within the hour. Reading glasses on a chain, the calm manner of someone who had heard every version of my spouse has lost his mind. She listened without interrupting, then said one thing clearly. Divorce is not a button you press to teach your husband a lesson. People come in angry and start moving money, canceling cards, emptying accounts. Do not. I was not planning to, Natalie said. Excellent, Dana said. Continue not planning to. That afternoon, her coworker Marian asked the question nobody else had. Do you want a divorce? Natalie said she did not know. Then do not pretend that you do, Marian told her. Natalie signed a 3-month lease on a small furnished apartment, beige walls. A beige couch that looked chosen specifically to prevent emotional attachment. Dean did not try to stop her. He stood in the doorway while she packed and asked if this was really necessary. I do not know, she said. That is the only honest answer I have. Her first night alone, she bought groceries for one person. When she unpacked the bag, there was a box of rosemary crackers Dean liked. Sitting between her soup and her coffee. She stared at it, laughed, then, embarrassingly, cried, sitting at that little beige counter with her coat still on. Because 18 years of marriage could apparently hide inside a $6 box of crackers. She missed him. She was still angry. Those two things coexisted just fine. The first sign of trouble came Tuesday. Russell called about Lorraine's homeowner's insurance. A renewal notice, missing documentation on an old roof repair. Call the agent, she told him. That should have ended it. It did not. Records were missing, the roofing company had changed ownership, somebody needed photographs and an inspection. By Wednesday, Russell had left work early to meet a contractor in his mother's driveway. How the hell did you keep track of all this? He asked her. Mostly, she said, by nobody noticing I was doing it. Fair enough, he said, quieter than she had ever heard him. Bethany called Thursday. Lorraine had missed a cardiology appointment nobody reminded her about. It got rescheduled, Bethany said quickly. Then the real reason for the call. Could you just keep managing her calendar for a while? Natalie asked why having a life made Bethany unavailable, but having one made Natalie selfish. That landed harder than she meant it to. At 11:12 that night, Lorraine called about the thermostat. It read 66. Dean was not answering. Russell was asleep. Bethany knew nothing about furnaces. For one dangerous moment, Natalie could picture the whole drive over. Instead, she said, "Call the service company. Their number is on the furnace. You cannot come over." The silence had weight. "All right," Lorraine finally said. The house did not freeze. Dean arranged a service visit himself the next morning. Then Lorraine fell, carrying a laundry basket down the stairs. Bruised hip, nothing broken. Natalie went, because of course she went. On the exam table in a paper gown. Lorraine said this would not have happened if somebody had been there. Natalie pulled her chair closer instead. "We need a plan that does not depend on one person being there all the time," she said. Lorraine's mouth tightened. She did not argue. Not yet. Friday, everyone came to Lorraine's house. Russell started before Natalie had taken off her coat. "We need an actual plan," he said. Bethany suggested assisted living. Lorraine rejected it. She rejected a caregiver next, then grocery delivery, ride shares, and cleaning help, one after another. Within 15 minutes, everyone was explaining why their own schedule could not change. Finally, Russell threw up his hands. "Why are we pretending this is Natalie's problem?" he said. "She is not even your daughter." "She is Dean's wife," Lorraine said. Joanne, beside him, said, "So I am Russell's wife. Funny how nobody handed me a schedule." The room went quiet. "That is completely different," Lorraine said. "You only work part-time." Joanne smiled without humor. "Oh good," she said. "For a second I worried we would not insult me too." Bethany put her notebook down. "She is right," she said quietly. "I let Natalie handle things because she was good at it. If she said she would take care of something, I stopped thinking about it. And yes, it was convenient." Then Dean spoke. "I did worse," he said. He had known his mother would be angry, so he told Natalie no instead. "Disappointing my wife was easier than disappointing my mother," he said. Not a beautiful apology. Specific and embarrassing, which was probably why Natalie believed it. Natalie handed a folder to Dean, Russell, and Bethany. Not to Lorraine. Transportation services, grocery delivery, weekly housekeeping, a companion a few mornings a week. Lorraine said she did not want strangers coming and going. "Then do not hire all of them," Natalie said. "There are choices." Lorraine's voice finally cracked open. "Your father did things I did not know he was doing," she said. "I found a bill last week and could not tell if it had been paid. At night this house sounds different." She looked at Natalie. "You did not ask." Natalie said gently. "You assigned me." They did not solve everything that night. But when Natalie left, her name was not written on anything. Lorraine lasted exactly 2 visits with her new companion, Gloria, before declaring the arrangement impossible. "She puts the groceries away wrong," Lorraine complained. Weeks later, Natalie found them at the kitchen table playing gin rummy, Lorraine loudly accusing Gloria of cheating. Not peace exactly. Something close enough. Dean started seeing a counselor quietly. He began handling more at home himself, sometimes calling Natalie mid-question, then stopping. "Never mind," he would say, "I can figure it out." He was not transformed. He was learning. At Russell's birthday dinner, Lorraine tried once more. Telling the table that women used to understand family required sacrifice. This time Dean stopped her. "Natalie did not abandon you," he said. "We dumped our responsibility on her because she was the one who usually said yes." Lorraine walked out. Nobody followed her right away. That mattered too. An hour later she called and said, quietly, "I should not have told you to quit your job." Not a perfect apology. Lorraine was not built for those. But it was the first real one she had ever given. Natalie and Dean spent 4 months in counseling before she moved home, not 4 sessions. For months. Their counselor asked Dean what he heard when Natalie said no. "That I need to convince her," he admitted. She asked Natalie the same about Dean's disappointment. "That I should fix it," Natalie said. Neither of them looked proud. A few nights after Thanksgiving, Dean found the old dental office pen in the junk drawer. "I hate this pen," he said. Natalie took it from his hand. "Best pen I ever stole," she said. She kept it there afterward, not as a trophy, but as a reminder that her time had never needed to reach a certain salary to belong to her, and that loving someone never meant they got to assign it.